to this presentation. My name is Dr. Delia De Jesus, and I am your host for this presentation. This is a literature review on post-traumatic stress disorder and women in sales occupations. Here's a little bit about me. I received a PhD in Organizational Development and Leadership from Ashford University and a master's in psychology from the University of the Rockies. I aspire to examine the impact of PTSD symptoms on the revenue trajectory of women in sales. In my private practice, I offer consulting services on employee training and development, as well as management coaching services. I have two goals for this presentation. The first is to provide a brief overview of current research on PTSD studies, identifying a gap in literature. And the second is to open the potential for future research regarding women in the sales professions that advances field knowledge and improves sales training and human resource initiatives. The problem, as I see it, is that many women have experienced trauma in earlier life years. As a result, it is possible that many of them have untreated PTSD symptoms that may be holding them back from successful sales careers. The literature review shows that there are two types of traumas. The first are accidents and natural disasters. These are short-lived and most symptoms subside within 3 months. The second type of traumas are violent. The symptoms for these traumas have a lifelong repercussion and tend to be triggered by environmental conditions unexpectedly. Included in these traumas are family violence and relationship violence, which often result in emotional and physical abuse. Also, there are 3 characteristics inherent in PTSD symptomology. The first is re-experiencing of traumatic events. The second is engaging in avoidance behavior. And the third is feeling hypervigilant. Gendered research shows that PTSD is an unseen neuropsychological injury that impacts the interpersonal relationships of affected individuals. Violence against women might predispose them to PTSD. As a result, women are 3 times more likely than men to suffer PTSD symptoms. They are often misdiagnosed as depressed and lack social support systems. And they also experience domestic violence at higher rates than do men. Finding relevant empirical research is significantly difficult because the keyword combinations are too numerous for specificity. This literature review is limited to 30 peer-reviewed studies which I found across 5 disciplines using PTSD and women as keywords between the years 2000 and 2021. The disciplines include psychiatry, clinical and cognitive psychology, neuroscience, and sociology. Within the context of these 5 disciplines, I found a consensus that trauma experienced or witnessed during the ages of 5 to 18 tends to manifest symptoms in later adult years. This means that a woman who experiences trauma early on in her life might not demonstrate symptoms of PTSD until later in life. For example, as a young girl, a woman raped at 13 might not experience PTSD symptoms until she reaches the age of 22, where she might encounter someone who bears a resemblance to her past perpetrator. It is then, at the age of 22, where PTSD symptoms begin to manifest themselves. This is a brief list of the findings from the literature review. Also, because sales careers require interpersonal interactions, I believe that the most detrimental for a woman's sales career could be core beliefs about the world and herself, environmental triggers that lead to hypervigilance and avoidance behaviors in the present, as well as emotional affects that lead to later life interpersonal difficulties. Current gaps in literature show a shortage of empirical research studies on the specificity to women in a workplace environment, research concerning women in sales professions, quantitative studies regarding self identification for potential PTSD symptoms, and research regarding the impact domestic violence trauma could have on the business relationships with potential sales clients. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics suggests that the services and wholesale sectors require heavy interpersonal relationships for maintaining customer bases. McKinsey and Company conducted a study and they found that women remain underrepresented in executive positions. Women in the sales professions can be found at all levels from executive level management all the way down to mid level management to frontline sales. The years 1970 to 2005 showed a shift from an industrial to a service economy. Also, women have moved into many areas from technology to advertising and retail. The following table shows a brief sample of women in sales professions for a period of 1 year. The percentages show that women comprise approximately 50% of the workforce in those professions. Could it be possible that the wage gap differences between men and women be the result of PTSD symptomology in women? I wonder if fresh research could decrease the wage gap differences. Also, because PTSD is a brain based phenomenon, research suggests that later life symptoms could lead to avoidance behavior. As a result, avoidance behaviors could interfere with sales generations, and this could be a potential reason for explaining gender wage differences. Of the main research points listed here, I wonder if women are aware of PTSD symptomology and can they recognize a trigger in the face of a challenge relative to making a sale. In closing this literature review, I hope that I have generated some interest among the research community to, at the very least, use this information to begin discussions on this topic that leads to new knowledge concerning PTSD and women in sales. Thank you for this opportunity to discuss my topic. And at the end, there is a reference list for your further reading. If you have any questions and comments, my email is provided for your convenience. You can reach out to me with questions if you have any. Thank you once again. Goodbye.